Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses the CoWIN Global Conclave as India offers CoWIN as a digital public good to the world to combat COVID-19. PM says CoWIN is being prepared to be made open source in line with Indian civilizational thought of the whole world as one family. Union Education Minister virtually launches National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy today. Nipun Bharat Mission aims at creating enabling environment to ensure universal acquisition of foundational literacy and numeracy. Senior officials from all states and UTs, officers of the department and heads of institutions attend the event. COVID cases continue to decline as India reports 39,796 new cases in last 24 hours. Daily recoveries continue to outnumber the daily new cases for the 53rd consecutive day. Recovery rate increases to 97.11%. Over 35.28 crore vaccine doses administered so far. States continue to unlock. In Maharashtra, opposition decides to boycott the assembly as 12 BJP legislators suspended for 1 year on charge of creating ruckus in the assembly during the special session. Former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh fails to appear before the ED for the third time. Deshmukh faces serious charges of corruption and allegations of money laundering. Earlier also, he did not appear before the ED on 2 occasions. CBI registers another case in Gomti River front scam, conducts searches at around 42 places in UP, Rajasthan and West Bengal, names 189 accused including 173 private persons and 16 government officials. Indian Army Chief General M.M. Narawane begins his visit to the United Kingdom and Italy today. During the 4-day visit, Army Chief is scheduled to meet his counterparts and senior military leaders with an aim of enhancing India's defence cooperation. In international news, in the midst of the ongoing countrywide strict lockdown, Bangladesh records highest COVID death toll in a single day since March last year. Delta variant remains the most dominant strain among the sample of infected persons. In Wimbledon, Djokovic's 4th round match underway against Christian Garin. Federer to face Lorenzo Sonego for a place in the quarterfinals today. Namaskar, I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Let's start with the top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has offered CoWIN platform as a digital public good to the world to combat COVID-19. Addressing the CoWIN Global Conclave, he said that the biggest lesson from the COVID-19 pandemic is for humanity and the human cause, that we have to work together and move ahead together, guiding each other with our best practices. Here's a report.
Technology is integral to our fight against COVID-19. We in India decided to adopt a completely digital approach while planning our vaccination strategy. CoWIN, this is the platform through which India has administered 350 million doses of COVID vaccines.
Wiring no problem.
India's massive nationwide COVID vaccination program has been logistically and technologically driven by the CoWIN platform. So much so that many countries have expressed a keen interest in using its software to manage their own vaccination drives. The Union Ministries of Health and External Affairs along with the National Health Authority organized a virtual CoWIN Global Conclave on Monday. The conclave shared India's CoWIN experience with interested parties across the world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the conference and highlighted India's abiding philosophy of seeing the world as one family. He announced the COVID platform being made open source and available to any and all countries of the world.
our technology platform for COVID vaccination, the platform we call CoWIN, is being prepared to be made open source. Soon, it will be available in any and all countries. A few days ago, we vaccinated about 9 million people in one day. They do not need to carry around fragile pieces of paper to prove anything. It is all available in digital format. But best of all, the software can be customized to any country as per their local requirements.
The Prime Minister highlighted that fighting COVID requires the collective effort of all countries and that vaccinations form an integral part of this global effort. The CoWIN platform provides a digital record of vaccinations which would expedite normalcy in the post-pandemic globalized world.
In today's globalized world, if the post-pandemic world has to return to normalcy, such a digital approach is essential. After all, people must be able to prove that they have been vaccinated. Such proof must be safe, secure, and trustworthy. People also must have a record of when and where and by whom they have been vaccinated. Given how precious is dose of the vaccines each, governments are also concerned about making sure that each dose is tracked and wastage is minimized. All of this is not possible without an end-to-end digital approach.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi said India's inoculation drive has accelerated because of the completely digital approach in vaccination strategy. India has so far administered 350 million vaccine doses and the digital approach has helped track usage and minimize wastage of vaccines. The conclave included a technology session which explained the structure of the CoWIN platform and how it would be shared. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said that the pandemic had brought people closer, putting aside their differences. He pointed out that vaccinating a country of India's size is a huge task, made easier only by technology.
CoWIN is the bedrock of India's vaccination drive that handles overall management of citizen registration, appointment, scheduling, vaccinations and certification. The transparent system allows tracking of each dose of vaccine, monitoring of supplies at vaccination facilities to record the demand at a granular level. It has in fact enabled vaccine accessibility and inclusivity for all.
The CoWIN platform has presented the world with unique technology. It is citizen-friendly, easy to use and helps vaccination centers and administrators alike manage operations on the ground. Importantly, it also prevents overcrowding because of specific appointments. Those who participated in the conclave from across the world truly appreciated CoWIN.
We have been grappling with this challenge and searching for the right software, the proper hardware that can work in less than robust situations. I think that we have found the solution in CoWIN. The IT solution will certainly help us to embrace and to enhance our fight against COVID-19 here in Guyana and in the larger Caribbean.
We found that the biggest challenge we had was because of lack of digital infrastructure. CoWIN globalization of this platform would be very useful.
I believe that the CoWIN platform is a great initiative for tracking the progress of vaccination. I would request if we could have such a system in Afghanistan with the support of India.
CoWIN Global Conclave is yet another great opportunity for countries to learn from India's experience, success and path-breaking digital platform.
Technology has helped greatly in India's COVID management. Arogya Setu has been crucial in implementing the test, track and treat strategy. Now the CoWIN platform is helping in vaccinations. Such technology will continue to play an important role in the post-COVID world, which is why participating countries have shown keen interest in the conference. The conclave was attended by 142 countries, 20 embassies and 400 participants from around the globe. With Meghna Dev, Bureau Report, DD India.
Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank today virtually launched the National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy, Nipun Bharat. This initiative is aimed to develop learning competencies in reading, writing and numeracy in children. While launching the Nipun Bharat, Pokhriyal said this initiative will prove to be a strong pillar of the new education policy. He said this initiative will help the children in developing learning and numerical skills during the primary schooling. He said this will also enable the students to solve the basic problems with a better understanding of numeracy skills. The launch of Nipun Bharat marks an important step undertaken by the Department of School Education and Literacy among a series of measures taken for implementation of the National Education Policy 2020. A short video anthem and implementation guidelines on Nipun Bharat was also launched during this program. Senior officers from the School Education Department from all states and union territories, senior officials of the department and heads of institutions also attended the event.
राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 इस बात को भरपूर उजागर करती है कि स्कूल शिक्षा प्रणाली की सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता कक्षा 3 तक यानी कि 3 वर्ष से 9 वर्ष तक मूलभूत साक्षरता एवं ज्ञान जो संख्या का ज्ञान है उसकी सार्वभौमिकता हर हालत में प्राप्त होनी चाहिए। हमारी जो राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति इस बात को लगातार दोहराती है और इस बात पर भी चिंता प्रकट करती है और उसका समाधान मांगती है कि मूलभूत शिक्षण को स्कूलों में ही पूरा किया जा सके।
Ministry of Electronics and IT has informed the Delhi High Court that Twitter has not complied with IT rules and hence has lost the immunity given to an intermediary as per Section 79 of the IT Act. The ministry in its affidavit told the Delhi High Court that Twitter Inc. has failed to comply with the IT Rules 2021 as on 1st July 2021 for the following reasons. Chief Compliance Officer has not been appointed, the position of the Resident Grievance Officer is vacant and the position of Nodal Contact Person even on an interim basis is vacant. The physical contact address which was shown to be there on 29th May 2021 is once not again available on Twitter's website. In its affidavit, the ministry says in spite of the 3 months time granted to all SSMIs to comply with the IT Rules 2021 having expired on 26 May 2021, respondent number 2 has failed to fully comply with the same. COVID now, India continues to see decline in COVID-19 cases. The country has registered 35.28 crore vaccine doses that have been administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. 39,796 daily new cases in the last 24 hours. India's active case load has declined to 4,82,071. With this, active cases now constitute 1.58% of the total cases. Over 2.97 crore recoveries have been recorded so far across the country, out of which over 42,352 lakh patients recovered during the last 24 hours. With this, daily recoveries continue to outnumber the daily new cases for the 53rd consecutive day. Also, the recovery rate has increased to 97.11%. Weekly positivity rate continues to remain below 5% and currently stands at 2.40%. Daily positivity rate also remains less than 5% for 10 consecutive days, now stands at 3.48%. Testing capacity substantially ramped up, 41.97 crore tests total conducted. Moving on to our next story, 12 BJP MLAs have been suspended from Maharashtra Assembly for 1 year for abusing and misbehaving with the presiding officer in chair both inside and outside the Assembly. Maharashtra Parliamentary Affairs Minister Anil Parab presented a resolution to suspend the MLAs and the House passed it on majority vote. The BJP, while boycotting the House, termed it an act to suppress its voice and an attempt to bring down the number of the opposition.
मेरे ऊपर शायद कल कोई प्रस्ताव भी ला सकता है, लेकिन मैं स्पष्ट रूप से कहता हूं, तालिका अध्यक्ष ने एक तरफा बात कही है और उस पद पर बैठने के बाद वहां पर जो बोलते हैं उनको अधिकार है और उसके बाद हमको बोलने नहीं दिया जाता। और इसलिए मेरा मानना यह है कि उन्होंने पूरी बात नहीं कही है। हाँ, ये जरूर है, मैं इस बात को बिल्कुल मान्य करता हूं कि दो बातें हुई, लेकिन उसमें हमारी तरफ से किसी ने गाली नहीं दी और ये पहली बार नहीं हुआ। मैं 22 साल से विधानसभा में हूं, हर अधिवेशन में यह होता है। हम लोग जो विपक्ष में थे या वो भी विपक्ष में थे तो विपक्ष अध्यक्ष जी के यहाँ जाता है, 5 मिनट जोर जोर से बातचीत होती है, उसके बाद सब शांत होते हैं और हम गले मिलकर बाहर निकले। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये बिल्कुल गलत बात है।
As former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh snubs third summons of ED in a money laundering case, his advocate has said that Deshmukh is a law-abiding citizen and maintained that the grounds sought by the former Home Minister from the ED are still unclear. Earlier today, Deshmukh had written a letter to the ED underlining various grounds to give an added thrust not to appear before the agency. His advocate Indrapal Singh, produced on behalf of Deshmukh, relied upon the letter and said that he has filed exception before the agency. Meanwhile, Deshmukh's son Rishikesh Deshmukh has been called to appear before the agency tomorrow. Also, Deshmukh's PS Sanjeev Palande and PA Kundan Shinde will be produced before the special PMLA court as the ED custody will conclude tomorrow. Moving on, the CBI has registered another case in Gomti River scam, conducting searches at around 42 places in UP, Rajasthan and West Bengal. As per sources, 189 accused have been named in the FIR. 173 are private persons and 16 government officials, including 3 chief engineers and 6 assistant engineers. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar has released the regulations and poster for the 52nd edition of the International Film Festival of India. The festival will be held in Goa from 20th to 28th November 2021 in a hybrid format, considering the success of the 51st edition in January 2021. Every year, the festival celebrates some of the finest cinematic works and showcases a bouquet of the best films from India and around the world. The call for entries for participation in the competitive section of FIFI will remain open till 31st August 2021. International stories now. The countrywide lockdown in Bangladesh is being implemented strictly across the country. Most of the cities and towns are shut. Police and armed forces are enforcing the lockdown to control the spread of COVID-19 virus.
In the midst of the continuing menace of COVID-19 pandemic, Bangladesh entered the 4th day of the countrywide strict lockdown on 4th July. Streets of Dhaka looked deserted with very few vehicles and people on the road. Most of the shops, except grocery and medical shops, were closed. People used rickshaws to commute and undertake the unavoidable works. The lockdown is being implemented strictly all across Bangladesh. Police and armed forces are patrolling the streets in aid of civil administration. They are urging people to stay home to control the spread of coronavirus. In the face of the pandemic, a successful lockdown in Bangladesh can be expected to slow down the spread of the COVID virus in the country. Rajesh Jha for Doordarshan News and All India Radio, Dhaka.
Now a quick look at the COVID-19 numbers stack up across the world. More than 18 crore 45 lakh people have been infected with the COVID-19 virus so far. The recoveries have crossed 16 crore 88 lakh. The disease has claimed over 39 lakh 92,000 lives globally. The US has been the worst affected country with more than 3 crore 45 lakh total infections. The country's fatalities stand at more than 6 lakh 21,000 from the pandemic. Meanwhile, in France, Health Minister Olivier Véran urged as many French people as possible to get a COVID-19 vaccine, warning that France could be heading for a 4th wave of the epidemic by the end of month due to the highly transmissible Delta variant. Véran wrote in a tweet, and I quote, "For 5 days the infection rate hasn't come down, it's rising again because of the Delta variant, which is very contagious. The British example shows that a 4th wave is possible from the end of July. We must move even faster on vaccination. Our country is in a race against time." And Russia on Sunday reported coronavirus-related deaths, the most confirmed in a single day since the pandemic began, and the 5th day in a row it has set that record. The government coronavirus task force confirmed about 25,142 new coronavirus cases nationwide, the most it has reported since early January. It also reported 679 deaths in the last 24 hours. Officials blame the surge on the infectious Delta variant and lukewarm demand for vaccinations. Moscow, the worst hit region throughout Russia's pandemic, accounted for 7,624 of Sunday's new cases. Vaccines against COVID-19 are widely available. However, polls show many people don't want to have them. In Moscow, which has not had a strict lockdown since last summer, officials have now banned people from going to cafes, bars and restaurants unless they can show proof of the vaccination immunity or a negative test. Brazil, meanwhile, registered 830 more deaths from COVID-19 in the past 24 hours, bringing the national death toll to 5.24 lakh on Sunday. A total of 27,783 new infections were detected, raising the total caseload to 1,87,69,808. The South American country, which is experiencing a new wave of infections with hospitals overwhelmed by patients, has a mortality rate of 249.5 deaths per 1 lakh inhabitants. Brazil has the world's second highest COVID-19 death toll after the United States. Army Chief General Manoj Narvane is in UK. He will be meeting the Chief of Defence Staff of the British Armed Forces. The deployment of the Royal Navy's largest aircraft carrier, HMS Queen Elizabeth, to the Indian Ocean and South China Sea in October as part of its Indo-Pacific tilt will be a focus of the talks with the British Chief of Defence Staff, General Nicholas Carter. General Narvane will also be holding talks with UK's Defence Secretary Ben Wallace. After exiting the EU, Britain is looking for a lucrative market for its defence exports and has termed India as its partner in its Indo-Pacific foreign policy. India too wants UK to invest in the Make in India in defence manufacturing. PM Modi held a summit with British PM Boris Johnson in May this year. This visit by the Army Chief will further boost military ties and defence exchanges, which are age-old and traditional. General Narvane will reach Italy on Tuesday for the second part of his official tour. An Indian ambassador to the US, Taranjit Sandhu, spoke exclusively to DD India's Ramesh Ramachandran. He said there is a strong convergence between India and the US insofar as the Quad and Indo-Pacific are concerned. Take a listen.
A very significant area of our cooperation, and I think the first 100 days of Biden administration clearly demonstrate that. When President Biden came, despite all questions and all kinds of doubts, there has been strong convergence, as you said, for a free, open, inclusive Indo-Pacific. President Biden's first summit was the Quad Virtual Summit, and there have been several engagements by the new US administration with the Indo-Pacific region. Now, the statements by President Biden, Secretary Blinken, the National Security Advisor, and other senior officials, they have repeatedly emphasized the importance of Indo-Pacific. And finally, the interim strategic guidance document that the United States has come out with, the only strategic document so far, very clearly underlines the importance of Indo-Pacific. And I must mention here that there is increased interest in the Indo-Pacific in Europe too, who are the traditional partners of US. And that actually signifies to the convergence on the subject. And as I mentioned earlier, that the Quad Summit is expected to take place by end of the year. And this will take this cooperation forward. Now, a word about India's commitment to Indo-Pacific. You know, Prime Minister Modi has come out with what we call SAGAR, that is security and growth for all in the region. And our commitment and our vision is clearly reflected in that. This actually also fits into our Act East policy. And ever since pandemic has started, I may add here that India has been undertaking regular consultations with select countries in the Indo-Pacific. And we have had exchange of information, best practices, including supply of COVID vaccines.
And you can watch the full interview with Ambassador Taranjit Sandhu at 8 p.m. tonight on DD India. Honest Jabeur produced a stunning display to overcome Polish 7th seed Iga Swiatek and secure her first Wimbledon quarterfinals. The victory sees Jabeur become the first Arab woman to reach the last 8 at the All England club. And world number 4 Aryna Sabalenka defeated Elena Rybakina to reach her maiden quarterfinal at a Grand Slam. She edged Kazakhstan's Rybakina 6-3, 4-6, 6-3 in the last 16 clash of 2021 Wimbledon. Sabalenka showed terrific resistance despite losing the second set. Well, that's all we have in this news bulletin, but before we go, it's a reminder to wear a face mask before you step out of your house and get vaccinated if you are eligible for the shot, and follow all the COVID-19 appropriate behavior. Situation is under control, but we need to be very, very careful now and can't lower our guard. Namaskar.